How's it going, horror fans? This is your favorite horror geek, Joby Snyder, and tonight I'm going to be talking about a horror film that is really going to upset you. If you have any kind of heart or any kind of soul, this movie is genuinely going to upset you. Um, Guys, we are talking about the 2022 horror film, Soft and Quiet. And there is nothing soft and quiet about this movie. It is actually very loud, and the point that they are trying to make is very deep and very serious. It is about a elementary school teacher that throws together a group for women where they sit around and talk to each other, and the events that take place after this meeting spiral into an unthinkable situation that they get themselves into that turns out violent and also deadly. This movie takes a second to get to the point. It has a very slow build up, but once these group of women start talking to each other and you start to get to know their personalities, you're very well sucked in to who these women are, um, and you generally aren't going to like them. They are white, privileged, rich women, um, and their opinions and their views are very deep and very hateful. Um, Once they're in a church having this meeting, and once the pastor of the church takes wind to what this meeting is generally about, he asks the women to leave. Um, Again, this is it's so disturbing because these women are teachers and mothers and business owners, and they live in everyday society and they walk around amongst us, and their views about other people and the way they feel about other people is so upsetting and so disrespectful that you really can't believe that people like this walk among us. Well, the pastor gets wind of what this meeting is about, and he asks the women to leave, and they decide to go back to the teacher's house to continue their conversation, and not before they stop at one of the women's stores to get a couple things. Well, while they're in the store, um, two people come in. They're sisters, and they are Japanese. And this group of women just lay into them. They're just nasty, they're hateful, they're racist. They begin to bully them. Um, Essentially is what it is. They are bullying these two sisters. Um, the sisters decide to leave the store, and our group of women are so angry and so upset that they decide that it will be a good idea to go to one of the sisters' house because they know where they live and break into their house. Um, what starts out to be just like a prank turns into a home invasion, and these women do break into these sisters' house. And when they come back, they try to hide from them, but they slowly reveal themselves. And as the sisters try to get away, they kidnap them and tie them to chairs and mock them and torture them and throw food on them, and just becomes a horrible hate crime against these two sisters. Well, they accidentally kill one of them, not meaning to, but they do. So they decide that the other sister has to die too, um, so they can keep this quiet and not get into any trouble. And what the most upsetting thing about this film is, once shit goes down, our group of women really make themselves feel like they're the victims. Like, oh my God, what are we going to do? How are we going to fix this? How are we going to get away with this? Which they are the cause. They are the reason why this happened. And now they want to act and pretend like, because they're white, rich, privileged women, that, they want to pretend like they're the victims and they're the ones that don't deserve the outcome of this. And it's simply not true. If they would have kept their mouth shut and left people alone, none of this would have happened. It's very upsetting, because in the real world, this is something that can really happen. This is something that can actually happen to people of different ethnicities, different cultures. There are people out there that think that they're better than other people and think that they're put themselves on a pedestal, and it's so frustrating. If you have any kind of heart, you're really going to look at these women and be so disappointed in how the world can be. And it really makes you want to take a step back and makes you want to be a better person. When you're watching these women do these unspeakable things to these two sisters, you really want to hope that humanity can be better and that we can be better as a society and be better to each other. The ending is going to leave you so relieved, because it gets so brutal and it gets so upsetting, and you see these women do what they're doing to kind of fix the situation so they don't get in any trouble. And in the very few minutes of this film, you see that that's not the case, and these women are most likely going to have to answer to the actions of what they did. And it's so relieving, because these women deserve to be in front of a judge, and they deserve to spend their life in prison, I do believe. And they feel, and it looks like they're going to get away with it. And then it's just a relief when the ending happens. This movie is really going to, it's going to upset you. It's just, you're going to wonder how or why people can even think this way or feel this way about other people. It's very in your face. Like I said, it takes a minute to happen, but once it gets going, you slowly are realizing who these women are, what they believe in, what they're doing in this meeting, and how they feel about people in the world. And then it turns into them thinking that they are invisible and they can just do whatever the hell they want because they're rich white women and they can do whatever they want. And they slowly realize that, they can't just do whatever they want to whoever they want to do them. There are consequences to your actions, especially if you deserve it, and especially if it gets violent. So, guys, if you're looking for a real deep movie to watch, a real deep horror film, I highly recommend you go check out Soft and Quiet. It's beautifully filmed. It's a really good story. This is definitely a one-time watch. Much like the film I talked about yesterday, you are not going to want to sit down and watch this film over and over again. It's a film you experience only once, and then you might tell your friend about it, you might tell somebody about it, like, go check this out. But you're only going to want to do it once. This is not a rewatch movie that you're going to put in all the time to rewatch it. It's not. But I think it's important that horror fans do see this film. I think that it's an important film that exists, and I think we need to watch it, and I think we need to pay attention. So again, guys, go watch Soft and Quiet. And until next time, my horror fans, stay scared, stay safe, and happy watching.